Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, everyone. And my name is Rizqullah Wira Fajar. It's such an honor and a privilege to be here, to stand here and deliver my speech to y'all about tolerance. But unfortunately, due to pandemic condition, we only can meet through this virtually, not live meet. I mean offline meeting, because you know the condition of the virus outbreak. But let's keep our head high up and let's hope that everything is gonna be better and back to normal again, so that we can do our daily activities as usual. So the topic that I want to talk, as I said before, it's called tolerance. I guess everyone is already know what tolerance is, because it's a important aspect, important attitude that everyone must have, because it impact our social life and impact our image as a person. So the tolerance itself is the appreciation of diversity and the ability to live and let others live. So the simple explanation is that the ability to appreciate others to live. That means we appreciate others and doesn't disturb other person that different than us. Also, it is a ability to exercise a fair and objective attitude towards whose opinions, and it's not only opinions but it's also practices, religion, nationality, and so on. And as a social creatures that always depend on each other, we need to create this attitude in our heart and apply it to whoever it is at any time, no matter what skin color they have, or their religion, or their race, or their origin, like their hometown or else. Because at the end of the day, that kind of thing, it doesn't matter, it doesn't important, because as long as we have kindness in ourselves and we care about other people, it can create a strong bond that make us tolerate each other. So in modern day, tolerance are probably just a word without an action, because many people from around the world that spread tolerance among religion or race, or for example the Black Lives Matter and Save Palestine, Save Ukraine, but yet racism, conflict still happen everywhere, every time. Actually, this kind of attitude will only brings a problem in humanity that probably can cause a huge bloody conflict. Also, we talk about nowadays, I mean this present day. I want to remind you to a biggest and destructive conflict in the humanity that caused many victims, and it's happened because intolerance, and it's the World War II. So if you doesn't know, the leader of fascist faction are spreading hate speech and violence that directly goes to Jewish, because he hates Jewish race. He thinks that their race, I forgot the race is, but I think it's Arya Bolshevik, I think. But correct me if I'm wrong. You can write in the comment if I'm wrong. So he hates Jewish, and His intolerance to Jewish people leads to the worst genocide in the history of humanity, and it's called the Holocaust, that caused approximately 5 to 6 million people murdered. And you probably know who I'm talking what I'm talking about, right? And if you know, just keep in your mind. And if you don't, just search it on Google. From that, we can conclude that an intolerance attitude only leads us to a huge consequence such as divided groups, divided race, or even a country. That's why we must appreciate each other and be nice and care to each other. Anyway, we have talked about the example of intolerance, right? We talk about intolerance and its impact. Let's talk about the example of tolerance. And for the example, I will choose the closest examples around us, and that's the tolerance of religion in Malang City. So, in Malang, if you live in Malang, as you already know, there is two worship places that have been built for about maybe 100 years, approximately 100 years, and it's almost the same age of the Malang City itself. And these worship places are Emmanuel Church and Grand Jami Mosque. The beauty of tolerance and kindness can be seen in this place because it's literally built side by side, and this location is both a place of worship that located in the heart of Malang City. It's near the city park, exactly in the front of the town square. So this church was built in probably around 1861, and the mosque was built in 1875. So it's not that long, and although only coincide separated by an insurance office in the middle, there was never, I repeat, never any problems between these two places and its people around it. Both administrators are often work together when there is a huge religion event. For example, if there is a Christmas Eve, the organization of that mosque, it's called the youth. I don't know what it's called in English, but in Indonesia it's called Remaja Masjid, and other is called Panzer, or the security team of that mosque is securing when there is a Christmas Eve. They are securing the surrounding areas and securing the parking area so that the Christian can worship in calm, in peace. It's happened to in Eid Mubarak, when there is a prayer of Eid, the administrator of the church will also help to secure that area, help them to secure the parking area, and even they rescheduled the prayer schedule to respect each other. And I think that's really nice to hear and nice to see. Even the president of Indonesia, Joko Widodo, even stated in his speech during his visit in Malang that Malang is the example of what is Indonesia. It's the exactly example of how our founding fathers feels about tolerance. And that's cool, right? So in conclusion, any kinds of tolerance act will only lead us to a better way, a shiner light and brighter future. Together, let's stand to the act of kindness and let's say loudly and clearly that we are against any kind of hate crime, racism, intolerance, and violence. My name is Rizqullah Wira Fajar. It's good to be here and thank you for your appreciation. Good night.